দর্শক আমন্ত্রণ আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন বিষয়ক আরটিভি নিয়মিত অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোনে। আপনাদের সঙ্গে আছে সৈয়দ আশিক রহমান। আমাদের আজকের অতিথি বাংলাদেশে নিযুক্ত ফেডারেল রিপাবলিক অব জার্মানি দূতাবাসের চার্জ দি অ্যাফেয়ার্স হিজ এক্সেলেন্সি ডক্টর ফার্ডিনান্ড ফন ভাইয়ে। ওয়েলকাম এক্সেলেন্সি at RTV studio.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing today?
I'm very fine. It is a wonderful day and I'm very happy to be here with you today.
Excellency, Mr. Ferdinand, you are working as a charge d'affaires of Germany. Would you please share your experience so far?
I've been working as a chargé d'affaires since last summer and it was a wonderful kick-off in a way because this was the time of the World Championship. You know,
exactly.
This was a very exciting time for all of us and perhaps especially for Germany. And ever since it was very interesting to work as chargé because you have the chance and the opportunity to meet with many, many interesting people, with young people, with elderly people, but not only in Dhaka, but also outside the city. I love to travel also to the countryside and to other places in Bangladesh because...
So outside means where you've been?
I've been, well, many times, of course, to Chittagong. I've been to Sylhet and Srimangol, to Cox's Bazar.
What is your finding about Cox's Bazar?
I love the nature outside of the city.
Great, great. Well, Excellency, Bangladesh and Germany enjoying excellent bilateral relations. How do you anticipate these relations developing further in coming days?
Well, I'm very happy to say that these relations are indeed very historic already because you might remember, or you might have heard of at least, that, for example, our cultural center, the Goethe Institute, has been established already in the 60s in Dhaka.
60s.
And our development cooperation has started in the 60s, so even before the War of Independence. So ever since, and Germany was one of the first countries to recognize Bangladesh's independence, so ever since it has been a very strong relationship, and they're very different fields and of areas where we very strongly cooperate, and I'm very happy about that. We have, of course, the field of trade, of business, we have the field of development cooperation, we have political topics we very closely work on also in international bodies. We have a lot of students now coming from Bangladesh going to Germany. So there are many fields of a very strong cooperation, and I'm very hopeful that this will even grow stronger in the very near future.
Near future. Well, thank you. Mr. Ferdinand, German government is one of the long-standing development partner of Bangladesh. At this moment, what is the development priorities in Bangladesh?
Three main priorities. One is energy and renewable energies. One is climate change in urban areas. And one is rule of law, good governance, and human rights.
What are the major achievements of Bangladesh?
From my point of view, I wouldn't start with those which might straightly jump to your mind, like fulfilling of MDGs or most of MDGs. I think to me, what is a huge achievement, and which is, I think, in the end, the driving force of making progress, many people who do business, who have good new ideas, who set up new industries, who work very hard every day to, of course, money to their families, but also which makes this country move forward.
Oh, great. Germany is the second largest export market for Bangladesh. How you may diversify our market?
I think we all know that the market, or let's say the export from Bangladesh to Germany, is at this moment of time very much focusing on RMG. And which contributes enormously not only to the GDP, but also to the overall development, as I just said, to many millions of people, which is very good, and I think which brings Bangladesh really forward. But I think Bangladesh can do a lot more. We are talking about the leather industry, the developing of leather industry. We all know
leather industry, yes, it's developing.
It is developing, but I think there's even more potential in that.
More potential.
We have already quite a share in the frozen food products which go abroad, so quite a lot of them goes to Germany. We know that jute today is not only in the traditional sense, but you use it today also for, I don't know, for cars, for example, for car production. You know that Germany is one of the often thinking about ICT
ICT.
So have a new Bangalore in Dhaka. Why only in Bangalore? So software development, skills like that. You have hundreds of thousands or millions young people, and it's a question of suitable education to make them...
It's a new opportunity.
It's a great opportunity. It is.
Well, Excellency, you are talking about RMG sector. What's about RMG reputation in Bangladesh at this moment, and what is your finding?
You might know that only 2 days ago, there was, or a couple of days ago, there was a big conference in Germany. You know, Germany at the moment is guiding the G7 format, right? And in this format, there was a huge conference on sustainable supply chain. And in this regard, IMG might be a front runner in a way. So your Minister of Commerce was taking part in this conference. Businessmen from Bangladesh were taking part in that conference. Just to illustrate that there's a great awareness among German consumers after the incidents you mentioned. And I think a lot of progress has been done since these incidents, tragic incidents. But a lot of progress has been done, and I know many very responsible businessmen here in Bangladesh who do a lot to really bring their factories up to international standards, security standards, social standards, environmental standards, and this must be honored by the consumers. In the end, you know, it's the consumers who buy products. I know that we all know, you just mentioned that a lot of IMG is going to Germany. Germany is the second largest. So German consumers do appreciate the quality and the price, of course, of IMG coming from Bangladesh. And I'm very hopeful that with all these improvements in the standards I just mentioned, environment, social, securities, the level of the factories here will be brought up. And I think it is very important now from the Bangladeshi, let's say, official side to focus on all factories, because it's, as a matter of fact, the reputation of a country as a whole can be influenced by any incident in any factory whatsoever. So if this factory where there might be an incident tomorrow is even not exporting or not exporting to Germany, it doesn't matter. It will harm the whole IMG sector.
So what is your suggestion on diversification?
I think there are many more fields where Bangladesh can have a good chance, not only on the German, but on the European, but also international market. I think a great advantage is the huge number of very young, very active people in Bangladesh. I think it's very much a topic of a good education. And of course, it's also a great advantage today, and I think also in the near future, the cheap labor costs. But talking about diversification, I think it is also quite important to see the other side of the balance. Because, you know, today we have a bilateral trade exchange of about 4.5 billion euros, which is wonderful. We have an increase of about 12% during the last year, which is fantastic. Yeah, 12%. But if we have a closer look on that, it is very much in favor of Bangladesh. So Bangladesh exports approximately 4 billion euros, or goods worth 4 billion euros to Germany, whereas German products come in only about worth $500 million, which is very unknown to us, because normally we export much more than we import. And I think we should, or perhaps the Bangladeshi side should have an eye also on that, how to increase the imports coming from Germany. But I think it's also a question of, let's say, legal or customs barriers.
Customs barrier, like?
Like, for example, if you want to buy a Mercedes, you have another German brand, I don't know.
Very popular brand.
250% customs, which is pretty high.
But I don't think so. It is for only Mercedes-Benz or German.
No, this is just an elusive and a very specific
example.
As well,
Japanese car also, but this kind of...
Yeah, all the other, you might name them BMW or Audi or Volkswagen, all these cars. But this is just an example. But another point in this regard, you know, today it's not only about having this machinery, but also the, as we say, the after-sales services.
After-sales services.
So here again, I hear every now and then from business side that it's sometimes a problem to, you know, to get the service into the country and also then to pay the service in a way. So these are, I think, small obstacles which can be removed rather easily.
What are the interesting sector in trade with Bangladesh, you think?
From the German exporting side, it is machinery, it is chemicals, it is also, as we were saying, luxury goods in a way, cosmetics, yes. And from the Bangladeshi side, there are a number of goods, we were talking about this, and as I said, there could be even more and more diversified.
Well, Excellency, we'll talk more after a short break.
Happy to do so.
দর্শক দেখছেন আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন বিষয়ক আরটিভির নিয়মিত অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোন। এই পর্যায়ে নিচ্ছি বিরতি, ফিরছি একটু পরে, সে পর্যন্ত আমাদের সাথেই থাকুন। দর্শক, আবারও আমন্ত্রণ আন্তর্জাতিক সম্পর্ক উন্নয়ন বিষয়ক আরটিভি নিয়মিত অনুষ্ঠান ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোনে। কথা বলছিলাম বাংলাদেশে নিযুক্ত ফেডারেল রিপাবলিক অব জার্মানি দূতাবাসের চার্জ দি অ্যাফেয়ার্স হিজ এক্সেলেন্সি ডক্টর ফার্ডিনান্ড ফন ভাইয়ের সঙ্গে। ইউর এক্সেলেন্সি, ইউ জাস্ট টক বিফোর দ্য ব্রেক টকিং অ্যাবাউট স্টুডেন্টস। এভরি ইয়ার এ বিগ নাম্বার অফ বাংলাদেশি স্টুডেন্টস আর গোয়িং টু জার্মানি for their higher education or training. Would you please share any thoughts with our young generations of these opportunities?
Well, first of all, I'm very happy about this development that you just explained, that an increasing number of Bangladeshi students are going to Germany. I think three main arguments for young Bangladeshi to follow his or her studies in Germany. First of all, of course, the good quality of German universities. The second is that for a couple of years now we have introduced especially master programs in English medium, which is new to Germany. Beforehand it was only in Germany, so it was perhaps quite difficult for Bangladeshi students to follow. And the third argument is, and this might be also a rather convincing one, that even for foreign students we don't charge any tuition fee. So for everybody, you may say it's like a scholarship for everybody. So for Germans as for foreigners alike, studying in Germany is free of charge.
It's a big opportunity actually for...
It is a big opportunity. It can be also very seductive, and I think it is very important to make sure that you not only just go for the sake of it, but you really have in mind, okay, I want to finish. And I think this is very important, and I sometimes feel or see even students failing on this. That you have a really good command of English language. You can, of course, also follow your studies in German language.
German language also.
Of course, for that.
Well, Excellency, good governance is a major issue in Bangladesh. How does German government work for this?
As I said, good governance, and we see it in the broader picture, and we have a number of projects. You know, in our development cooperation, we, as the government, we don't act directly, but we act through our branches. We have three branches of development cooperation here in Bangladesh. One is the BGR, one is the KfW, the German Development Cooperation Bank, and the third one is the GIZ. So they implement our development cooperation. They do it through financial support or through specific projects, right? So, and for example, in this area of commitment, we have already for a very long time and for many years already a specific approach on how to support the RMG sector here in improving social, environmental and security standards, which we have done and started many years ago already. And we have another very, I think, successful, I might say, project in this field of cooperation, which is a cooperation in the field of prisons, and we train paralegals in the prisons. Yes, and we try to support the Bangladesh prison system in how to, in a way, handle the number of prisoners
professionally. I want to ask you about football. German football is one of the popular. Most of fans they are supporting Brazil and Argentina, and nowadays increasing Germany. So what is your finding?
I think it's not only about winning because of course it's
I find in Germany it is very popular, especially football.
It is very popular, and in every village you have a soccer field, and there
and
competitions. You might ask parents; they have to be with their children every Saturday on some soccer fields to watch and to cheer. And some parents like, some others don't. But there's a lot of sports going on, and especially as you say, football is very popular.
Very popular.
And but I think the important thing about this football, and I think what we even can in a way learn and translate to other fields of interest from this German team, the national team, is that it is not only about winning. It is a question of how we win and why we win. And I think many people, non-Germans, said, oh, they won because it was hard work, they did a lot of training. It was not about, oh, I'm the coolest guy on the field, I want to play everything alone. But it was very much about a team spirit and the cooperation between all players. And I think these are the values you can very easily transfer from the field, from the soccer field, where the little children start playing and learning these values in a way to every place people work and interact together.
Great, great. Well, Excellency, we are almost end of our talk show. Where do you want to see Bangladesh after 10 years?
Oh, that's a long period of time. 10 years from now, that is 2025.
Exactly.
We all know that Bangladesh has very high expectations. People in Bangladesh have very high expectations. When I see the people of Bangladesh today, I see so many, and I have to underline, especially very young people, you know, coming back from abroad, setting up new business, having new ideas. And I think this is wonderful. And I think all this can bring this country really forward. And I think there's a real chance for further development. I mean, the figures we have are very impressive. Over the last years, every year, 6% growth of GDP. And I think this can continue, and I even think this can even increase. There is a need for many new jobs. We all know that. There's so many young people who are looking for jobs. I think it is very important an emphasis on education, because this is really the key factor, not only for mass production, but only for higher qualified production and for new products on the world market.
Great.
And I think Bangladesh has huge chances in this regard. When it comes to the Bangladesh as a country, I said in the beginning, I love to travel the countryside because I myself, I'm from a village. So I'm not really used to live in a city of 60 million people, inhabitants. I love to cycle, I love to walk, I love to go to the fields, I love to hunt, you know, all these outdoor activities. And I hope this nature will stay intact, and I hope even that there will be more commitments in favor of nature.
Exactly.
I hope to see in 10 years' time more cyclists. We see so many cyclists today in Dhaka.
Cycleway maybe,
cycleways, yes. In many countries in Europe where the weather is not as favorable as in Bangladesh, where you have a lot of rain or even snow in the winter. For example, I myself, every morning to the head office in Berlin, I rode by bicycle. Even when we had snow, that was not an issue.
Even if it is there snow?
Even when there's snow and rain, and no problem. And many people, even state secretaries do so. So I think this is a very good mean of transportation. And
we can take an example also for transportation.
Yeah, and I see many young people who are enjoying it, actually. Here in Dhaka. Although the traffic is not too easy, and the air is quite heavy for
it's coming up actually. The popularity day by day it's rising, and young people, they like to actually cycling in city. We hope for the best. Maybe we'll get a cycle line or cycle road near future here.
Asking about in 10 years' time, I do hope to see Bangladesh, which is still a multi-cultural, in a way, country with different religions, which is very open and free, and that this spirit, which is, I think, one of the big assets of Bangladesh, that this spirit of diversity, in a way, is maintained and even fostered, because I think this is a great chance, and also, in a way, a role model worldwide.
Oh, great, great. Thank you very much for your nice word and thank you very much for being with us.
It was a great pleasure. Thank you.
থ্যাংক ইউ। দর্শক, ফেডারেল রিপাবলিক অব জার্মানি বাংলাদেশের ঘনিষ্ঠ রাজনৈতিক বন্ধু। দুই দেশের মধ্যে রয়েছে 4 দশকেরও বেশি সময়ের সম্পর্ক। ইউরোপে বাংলাদেশের সবচেয়ে বড় ব্যবসায়িক সহযোগী দেশ জার্মানি। এরই প্রেক্ষিতে গেল 1 দশকে দেশটির সাথে বাংলাদেশের বাণিজ্য সুবিধা বেড়েছে উল্লেখযোগ্য হারে। ডক্টর ফার্ডিনান্ডের কথার সূত্র ধরেই আমরা বলতে চাই, ভবিষ্যতে দুই দেশের মধ্যকার দ্বিপাক্ষিক এই সম্পর্ক আরও উন্নত এবং দীর্ঘস্থায়ী হবে। এই প্রত্যাশায় শেষ করছি আজকের ডিপ্লোম্যাটিক জোন। এতক্ষণ আমাদের সঙ্গে থাকার জন্য ধন্যবাদ সবাইকে।